Just a couple of small things before we begin. When Sue's coffin departs, everyone could not please come down and follow the coffin out, or you could go back up the same way you came in. That would be great. After the ceremony, there'll be refreshments in a hall out to the left here, which means you go out and back down the passage. And also at this stage, if you could just please make sure your cell phones are switched off or switched to silent. A dynamic woman, full of joy, kindness, and an extraordinary talent of making sure everyone she encountered felt special. Sue Wright was this person. She was loved by so many, not only for her enthusiasm for life, but also for her concern and care for any one of her friends who were in strife. She had the ability of being a true listener, which in turn meant that in her company you felt she valued you as a friend. And I'm sure each and every one of us here have felt that sentiment too. Sue was full of determination to overcome any personal hurdles she encountered. We only have to think how she literally fought for her life when she was in a Lower Hutt hospital and was saved at the 11th hour by a nurse who discovered her correct diagnosis. To watch Sue bounce back to life from near death within a week, I feel sure was solely due to her wonderfully positive attitude to life. If we are to see how Sue's life was snatched away from her in the same way I feel sure she would view it, we should all be grateful. After that brush with death she had, we were given a bonus 7 years of her delicious company. She had an enormous passion for bridge. She first began playing with a small group of friends at Swingers, which grew into the thriving club so many of us now attend in Greytown. This huge contribution was acknowledged by being made our only life honorary member. She and her main bridge partner, Linda Gibbs, had many successes at tournaments and in club competitions. But if you chatted to Sue halfway through an evening, she would lament how dreadfully she'd been playing and how terrible she felt for her partner. The night's results would appear. She was, of course, so often top. And in this past year, she took on a new challenge, and as she was apt to do, she made fun of it, saying, "Oh, I never achieved anything in my academic life, so I'm damn well going to do it now." She was, of course, talking about her learning Terreo, which she totally embraced, and we'll learn more about that later in this ceremony. And so it is that we are here to farewell Sue Wardley Wright. Of course, our hearts go out to her husband Andrew and to her children with their spouses, Tim and Fiona, Sarah and Brian, who are all here today, and Dan, who's not here but is definitely grieving in his own way. Our love and sympathy is also with Henry and Vivi, Nathan and Desmond, who will truly miss such an entertaining and loving grandmother, Susie. And of course, Sue's sister, Nikki, and Darky have our deepest sympathy too. All of us here are reeling with how Sue's life was ended so suddenly. Somehow we all expected her vivacity for life to be around us forever. I'm now going to read you a small little poem that I feel easily could be Sue's message to us all. If I should go before the rest of you, break not a flower, nor inscribe a stone, nor when I am gone speak in a Sunday verse, but be the usual selves that I have known. Weep if you must. Parting is hell, but life must go on, so sing as well. And with that message, we are going to sing as well. First, we will be listening to Sarah Dill, who will be singing What a Wonderful World. And then we'll be outstanding and all sing a song that Sue loved, Imagine, by John Lennon. So,
hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They learn much more than I ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do. They're really saying I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'd ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Thank you, sir. That's beautiful. Now, would you all please stand while we sing an anthem? The words are on the back of your funeral sheet.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. And the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer,
watched the videos of Sue that she just happened to have recorded recently. So it was very special and apt that they should be played today.
Kia ora tātou. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm going to try and do this in te reo. Here goes. Ngā mihi ki tāku hoa whiri mō tāna mahi awhina kia hau. No whakatāne aia. Kia ora tātou. Ko Sue Oho. Ko tāku taonga tuku iho o Scotland me Great Britain. Engari, ko tāku whakapapa no otipoti te mea I tiko au I reiera. Ko hikaroroa te maunga. Ko waiti te awa. Ko takitimu te waka. Ko ngai tahu te iwi. No otipoti aho. That's Dunedin. Ko Andrew Wright toku huatane. Ko Jack Shacklock toku papa. Ko Lindsay Knight toku mama. Ko Susan Wright toku ingoa. I ora aho I otipoti mō ngā tau e rua te kau. I tūtaki aho tāko huatane I pōneke. Neke atu aho ki Carterton I te taha o tāko tāne mō te araha. E toro a maua tamariki, ko Tim rātou, ko Sarah, ko Dan, o rātou ingoa. E whā a maua mokapuna, ko Vivi rātou, ko Henry, ko Nathan, ko Desmond, o rātou ingoa. Ko whakatāia hau ki ngā tikanga mō te tikanga Māori. E hihia aho, kia nui ake te mōhio ki te reo Māori. E pai ana aho ki te wero. Ka waiho e aho, ki a koe te tahi, whakatauaki ana, ki tōku ngākau. Ka whakatauhia, he raru mā te haere tonu, ki te tapu I te tahi ōtinga. Ngā mihi, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. And I forgot to put the lipstick on. Kia ora. My name is Sue Wright. As an English-speaking Pākehā, I have become more and more aware of the negative attitudes from many of my friends towards the hearing and speaking of te reo. I am now 70 years old and retired. I have the time and the desire for a challenge to learn te reo. I may make a difference to the attitudes of my friends. That is my challenge to myself.
Sue and Andrew's son Tim is going to talk to us about his mother, followed by their daughter Sarah.
Tēnā koutou. Ko hoana o rawa, ko anaro o kumatua. Ko Tim Wright tōku ingoa. No uraira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Thanks, Mum, for those lovely words. I've got more to say. I just prefer to talk down here. Can everyone hear me at the back? Yep, I see a thumbs up from chairs. So thanks, Mum, for those lovely words. Thanks everyone for coming. It's an honour to have you here and means a lot to me and my family to see the impact Mum's had on everyone's lives. As kids, she was always just Mum. And it's humbling to see the number of other people she's impacted in positive ways. I'd like to thank the many people who helped with this service, but in particular some people aren't listed on the service sheet, so I just want to say thank you to them individually. Jonas for playing sitar out the front as everyone arrived. That was beautiful. I don't know where you're sitting now, but it was awesome, thank you. Beck Farr designed the lovely service sheet you have in your hands. And Minty Hunter, her partner, husband, is doing the sound and videoing the service. Thank you, Minty. And as we drive away, there'll be bagpipes playing. Donald Wong, who's up the back somewhere, is playing those. Thank you, Donald. He's an old friend of the family. So growing up, Mum seemed like a regular, normal mum. She stayed at home and cooked and cleaned and fixed our clothes and put bandages on our knees. She took us and our pets to pet day at school. We walked to the bus stop. We were in the country. It was about a 20-minute walk. And sometimes we took a little shortcut down a hill and across the river. It's a testament to her we were allowed to play outside when all of us almost died in different ways. I drowned at one stage and got thrown out of the pool. My sister had caught death at a young age and was revived, luckily. And my brother at one stage on the farm had rat poison and had to be rushed to hospital. Yet we played outside and unsupervised, and it was a fantastic way to grow up. That shortcut down the hill I mentioned, I went back to Aotea on Ngatahuna Road the other day, 2 days ago. It's a 100-metre, mostly vertical drop. The pets that went to pet day, they were always lambs dyed in various shades of the rainbow. My favourite one was green. We moved to Greytown, Kuretawiti Street, Main Street and Aikoka Road. As we were then at school, Mum got a job in Carterton working for an accountant. She rode to work most days on her bicycle with a bright orange rain poncho that looked like a ghost that got caught in a tornado at a paint shop. I can't actually remember the colour, but I can't imagine anything but bright orange. From there led to a series of businesses she started. A decade running a cafe and golf driving range. Swingers. We owned the domain swingers.co.nz and really should have kept it. Could have made it. New things kept turning up there. A mini-putt course that sprouted out of the ground. A baseball pitching machine, where the business case was basically get people drunk and challenge them to hit the balls. People got really competitive, and I think the payoff time was about 20 minutes. She had a brief stint running a pot shop. The kinds that sit on the ground and you grow things in. Pot plants, but not those pot plants. That stint lasted about 2 days. She got told she wasn't good enough with people. Clearly that's kind of wrong. Then there was Mondo, a funky gift shop where you'd often hear Tim Minchin playing through the speakers. I remember once she popped out for a coffee, and when she came back, there were 2 lovely older ladies perusing the shop, looking slightly confused, because the stereo was blasting Tim Minchin's Pope song. And to take a random snippet from the lyrics, yes, some people know the song. Fuck the motherfucker, fuck the motherfucker, fuck the motherfucker. It was at Mondo I remembered her turning to me one day and saying, "You know, Tim, I realised I'm an atheist because I never believed that Jesus came back from the grave like a zombie." I actually added the zombie bit, but I'm sure she'd say that if she thought of it. Finally, 2 Short Whites. A fantastic cafe she started with a beautiful sister, Nikki. Not many people start a cafe and make the bread for that cafe in their mid to late 60s. Here she spent months and months trialling different bread recipes, looking at YouTube videos, buying books, until she had a spectacular no-knead sourdough called Randy. If you haven't already, you should really try and get Randy. And amongst those endeavours, Mum always found something that interested her. Some were random decisions that didn't necessarily work, like the infamous nut machine. And others were deep loves that held her attention for significant periods of time. golf and bridge and music. Paul Simon, Luciano Pavarotti, Keith Richards, Queen, Leonard Cohen, Rufus Wainwright, Tim Minchin, and the list goes on. I think this love for different things meant that whenever we as kids went to her with a new endeavour or interest, and these things change daily when you're kids, right? She was always interested and supportive and loving, and that was fantastic. To her it didn't matter what we were doing, as long as we were enjoying it. And that's a great way to grow up. More recently, she fell in love with te reo and tikanga. I think she was taking several courses in parallel, and the house is covered with little stickers of this means this and this means this. You've seen the video of her speaking and her challenge to us. Her videos actually inspired other people to learn. I received a message from Hinerea Hunt Lambert, a Māori artist from Northland. She said, when I saw her video and started following her, I thought if a beautiful woman like Sue is determined to learn, then I can too. And Hinerea says she's spoken more Māori as a result in the last 10 weeks than she has in her life, and she learned te reo at school as well. So I think that's fantastic. Mum leaves behind Andrew, 3 kids and 4 grandkids. I want to say a couple of words to one of those people, my brother Dan. As you might know, he doesn't like being around crowds of any size, and he couldn't make it today. But I want to tell him the same that I've said to Mum, and that she agreed with. And we're videoing him so he can see it on the video as well. Dan, I know life's hard and challenging for you, but I think you're doing great, and I'm really proud of what you've accomplished. I believe you might not think you've done much, but I think each thing you do is so much harder for you that when I hear you've done something like given up smoking or living independently or any number of other things, I want to give you huge hugs and praise. Love you, bro. Finally, I want to thank Mum for showing how everyone can change and learn during their lives. That we can be ourselves, whether we're tie-dyeing sheep on a farm in rural Wairarapa or painting our front door bright orange in Carterton, or learning te reo. As the poster above her computer said, I'll either win or learn. There is no lose. Thank you.
Thoughts today. Don't trust me in a dinner suit. Bow ties restrict my breath. And keep my old face natural. Don't tart me up in death. Avoid the heavy metal please, some classics would be nice. And let there be no word at all from Helen Steiner Rice. No euphemisms needed here. I've died. It's plain and straight. I'm not asleep or passed away. I'm past my use by date. And please don't sit in gloomy rows afflicted with numb bums. But tell some tales at my expense and laugh if laughter comes. Just be yourselves. You are my friends who know me through and through. An honest record of my life is all I want from you. Then turn to life again, dear ones. It's brilliant and absurd. Remember me, but carry on. And that's my final word. This is Nathan, Susie's oldest grandson, who would like to say something. Nathan wrote this. We always had fun with Susie.
Just like his grandma.
We always had fun with Susie and we plant all sorts of stuff in her garden. Me and some of my friends used to walk there after school and make chairs and eat peaches. Whenever we saw her, she was always outside. We had lots of adventures with Susie, and she used to take us to Cobblestones or Wellington for the day every time we get chocolate.
I'd just like to say one thing that Nathan said when he found out that Susie had died. He said he would give away all of the Christmases, Easters, birthdays, forever, just to see Susie one more time.
Nikki, going to come to a reading for us.
Right, this is for Susan Audley, the boss. Kia hora te marino, may the calm be widespread. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa ho rāmu te moana, kia tere te kā rohi rohi, a koutou hoa hāne, ko te rāma.
One of the musicians that Sue adored was Tim Minchin. She was in fact going to attend a concert for his last week, but of course sadly this did not happen. So while we watch a photo montage of Sue, we will also be hearing White Wine in the Sun by Tim Minchin, which is the first song that introduced Sue to this artist. But there's a little surprise of what the song is, and it was the first song is Be Here.
Looking forward to Christmas. It's sentimental, I know, but I just really like it. I'm hardly religious. I'd rather break bread with Dawkins than Desmond Tutu, to be honest. And yes, I have all of the usual objections to consumerism, to the commercialization of an ancient religion, to the westernization of a dead Palestinian press ganged into selling PlayStations and beer. But I still really like it. Looking forward to Christmas, though I'm not expecting a visit from Jesus. I'll be seeing my dad, my brother and sisters, my gran and my mom. They'll be drinking white wine in the sun. I'll be seeing my dad, my brother and sisters, my gran and my mom. They'll be drinking white wine in the sun. I don't go in for ancient wisdom. I don't believe just 'cause ideas are tenacious, it means that they're worthy. Get freaked out by churches. Some of the hymns that they sing have nice chords, but the lyrics are dodgy. And yes, I have all of the usual objections to the miseducation of children who in tax-exempt institutions are taught to externalize blame and to feel ashamed and to judge things as plain right or wrong. But I quite like the songs. I'm not expecting big presents. The old combination of socks, jocks and chocolates is just fine by me. 'Cause I'll be seeing my dad, my brother and sisters, my gran and my mum. They'll be drinking white wine in the sun. I'll be seeing my dad, my brother sisters, my gran and my mum, they'll be drinking white wine in the sun. And you, my baby girl, my jet-lagged infant daughter, you'll be handed round the room like a puppy at a primary school. And you won't understand, but you will learn someday that wherever you are and whatever you face, these are the people who make you feel safe in this world. My sweet blue-eyed girl. And if my baby girl, when you're 21 or 31 and Christmas comes around and you find yourself 9,000 miles from home, you'll know whatever comes. Your brothers and sisters and me and your mom will be waiting for you in the sun when Christmas comes. Your brothers and sisters, your aunts and your uncles, your grandparents, cousins, and me and your mom will be waiting for you in the sun, drinking white wine in the sun. Darling, whenever you come, we'll be waiting for you in the sun, drinking white wine in the sun, waiting for you in the sun, waiting. I really like Christmas. It's sentimental, I know. Thank you. Thank you, Ginger Alcoholic. Thank you, Drunk Passionate Lady. Thank you, people up the back. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Orchestra. Thank you, Ball Boys. Good night.
Andrew Slater, if you would please come forward.
Ka tangi te titi, ka tangi te kaka, ka tangi hoki aho, tihei Māori ora. Te u tuatehi, tēnei te mihi, te mātou e te rangi, te mi tuarua, te whare katoa, tēnā koutou. E nā mā te haere, ka hoki mai tātou te una ora. Hina iwi o te motu, e nā whānau pani, tēnā koutou. Ko Andrew Slater aho, no Wairarapa aho, e hoa aroha aho o Sue, no rei, tēnā koutou katoa. Both Sue and I spent time last year learning Te Reo, and we would compare notes over the phone. So for the Pakeha friends, in my opening I've acknowledged those that have passed, the creator Sue, and introduced myself. Our family farm backs onto the Wright's property in Greytown, and I've known Sue and Andrew all my life. Sue was also my first boss, which was the start of a very, very special 28-year friendship. Over the years, I held many positions in the Wright conglomerate, including golf ball collector, assistant breed chef, waiter, car washer, house cleaner, retail buyer, and chief food taster. Susan always said the only person that would employ her was herself, so she had to create these jobs. Recently, Sue and Andrew came up and stayed with us on their way to Waitangi Day, something that Susan had always wanted to do. And Sue and I were discussing our best books of 2018. She was waxing lyrical about the book she had read, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and continued to relish in the fact that she'd mastered it. For me, mine was Legacy, the 12 Principles of Leadership from the All Blacks, which also has a strong Te Ao Māori theme. Over the last few days, along with Nikki, Andrew and the family, I've been thinking about Susan's principles, and I'm going to share my reflections. Number 1, always turn lemons into lemonade. The best example being in a packed restaurant, a patron had found a fly in their soup and was starting to get a bit wound up. Susan screamed at the top of her lungs, "Would you shut up? Or at this rate, everyone here is going to be ordering one of those." Second principle, think big and go for the top of your game. Examples included swingers, Too Short Whites, and of course we were all convinced when she unveiled plans for concert in the country. In its first year it was going to be bigger than the Mission concert. Of course we needed the biggest stage, and of course there'd be over 3,000 bacon butties ordered on the day. But this principle always had a second part, which was, if failing after a few weeks, hide it in the back of the pack house and pretend it never happened. Andrew's asked me to put a word out. He'll have the FPOS machine later in the day. He's taking offers on relics in the pack house. It includes the char grill from Swingers, which famously caught fire on opening night, the caramelising nut machine, the crate machine, and yes, there is still bacon from the first concert in the country in the deep freeze. Number 3, have fun making money. Sue loved getting money out of people, but cash was king and Sue didn't trust the banks. In Swingers, we had all sorts of places that she'd make us stash it. However, with the GFC coming, Sue decided that she'd sleep with her cash. And by the time they moved out of Icote Road, thousands was discovered under the mattress. Her lumpy Princess in the Pea mattress was much improved. Number 4, remaining open always takes precedence over health and safety. If there was an accident in the cafe, we were never to call an ambulance. Even if the scaffolder just fell through the roof or the chef had cut their finger off, no, we would have called Dr. Wally Metcalf. We would have given them free booze and a meal afterwards. This meant that WorkSafe would never find out, she wouldn't get fined, and the place could stay bloody open. Number 5, naming things is important. Susan had a great knack for naming. For example, the Big Apple, Carterton, which when she moved up became North Greytown. Swingers, whilst attracting golfers, also saw confused middle-aged men showing up looking for something else. And of course, the other dear man in her life, Randy, the sourdough bun. Number 6, spontaneity is a drug. Sue loved spontaneity in her life. Whether this was waking up and deciding that that day we were going to repaint the entire cafe, putting an apple on the front of a roadside stall, or simply creating chaos by not writing group bookings in the diary. Yep, after closing up, it wasn't unusual to see a bus coming down the country road, clearly headed for us. 40 punters expecting a 3-course meal and a standard functions package. But no, she took all of this in her absolute stride. Number 7, don't tolerate dull and boring. Susan was never dull. Nikki and I have paid homage today by only wearing primary colours out. And often complaining punters who were never going to please would be evicted. Kick the buggers out, she'd say. We'll never make those people happy and we're just best not to have them in our day. Imagine the horror on our Wellington customers when you ask them to piss off mid-meal because they complain too much. I never quite understood her bridge addiction until recently. She said to me, Andrew, the best thing about bridge is for $5 you get a good cup of tea, a biscuit, and if you're lucky, a bloody good argument. And she always had no time for what she called emotional incontinence. Which brings me to number 8, always tell a good story. It turns out the line emotional incontinence was actually stolen from someone else, despite Sue claiming it was a Sue Wright original, which happens to sit alongside Nikki Osborne's sticky date cake, Nikki Brindle's mild hybrid pie. And in the Mondo days, you'd often hear Nikki saying to her, for God's sake, Susan, if you're going to tell people it's made in Italy, can you cut the made in China tag off? And lastly, be ahead of the curve. Susan was always ahead of her time, whether it be her learning of Tadeo, her style, a pack house New York style apartment with a pink fridge and a black carpet, or the first espresso machine in the valley. She was always 2 steps ahead of most of us. So thank you, Susan, for these principles. Your zest, your love, your passion and your energy will be sorely missed. We all love you. And I will end in Susan's typical farewell to many of us. Right, good, fine. Norina, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Short Whites has been talked about quite a bit today, and I'd like to share a little something that when Sue and Minty opened Two Short Whites, it was really, really very busy, and the Indian man at the end who had opened an Indian curry restaurant came along and said to Sue and Minty, "Oh, you're pretty busy, you're really busy, you call Two Short Whites?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, perhaps I should be too long blacks." But unfortunately, even all the original sounds. Jane Walker, would you please come forward?
I think it's already been said. Sue was special and she was fun. And yes, so firstly, my deepest sympathy to Andrew, his children and grandchildren who Sue all loved dearly, and to Nick and her family too. My mother-in-law said to me in the early days, if you can find one totally loyal friend in your life, you're a very lucky girl. I did, and haven't I been lucky, and I've treasured Sue all my life. Sue was born in Dunedin and her family lived at 23 Belmont Lane. Sue and I go back to our early childhood. I went to St Hilda's, age 7, as a boarder, and Sue and Nick were there as day girls. Both were petite and blonde with very fine hair, and I remember both of them had little balls of fluff at the back that could never quite be combed true. I also remember they had Barbie dolls, the first most of us had ever seen, and the envy of us all. Then came Craighead School in Timaru and travelling by train to and from Dunedin. I can't remember either of us excelling academically or indeed on the sports field, but good friendships were made and lots of fun had. Our parents were friends and our mothers shared many interests. Both were good gardeners, both good cooks and hostesses, and could turn their hand to anything. After school we trained. Sue completed a secretarial course and myself a trained home economics teacher. During this time, parties and balls were attended, and photos show we sometimes wore the same outfits in different colours. I'm not quite sure that was all about. We hitchhiked up to Marlborough to Sue Dillon's 21st. Our parents would have been horrified and hopefully never knew. The next day we were out on the road again looking hopeful, and Sue said, "This isn't working. Put on your shortest mini skirt," which we were in the middle of doing, and a couple of goofy boys stopped, and they had loud awful music roaring, and I saw heads in the back seat, and travelling over the Humberleys, it was early to get to Christchurch. We decided to pack it in and get the train back to Dunedin. Skiing at Coronet Peak was something that we loved. When we left school, we would catch the 4:35 p.m. Central Otago Rail Trail to Cromwell, that's now the Rail Trail, and there we'd get the late night Otago Daily Times bus to Queenstown. And did it take the bread through too? I sort of feel I can smell bread. More hitchhiking, this time up and down the mountain each day. What would have our parents thought? About now, the Shacklock family left for Europe for 4 years. I was teaching, and by the time Sue returned, I'd married Charles and was living at Beckenburn in the Maniatoto. Sue came to stay and said I'd found a farmer, and I replied, "Mr. Wright will turn up." And he literally did have fun too. So now it was time to share experiences with our children, visiting each other and taking them skiing in Wanaka, where a lot of our old mates were too. We had a house there and fun galore, but one day stands out. Sarah was riding the rope toad, and still a little girl with that same little fluffy hair at the back. Yes, where was I? Sue was right. Oh yes, and Sue and I were behind her, chatting and talking and laughing and not concentrating, I'm sure. And all of a sudden, she didn't let go, and she went whizzing round the pulley at the top, now facing us. We were off in a flash, and little Sarah, I said she had that little fluffy blonde bit, she could have been scalped, and her hair was oily and sticky, and her little fingers just completely flat. A quick trip to Dr. Dennis Pizarro was such a relief when all was okay. So, like our mothers, gardening and cooking have been part of our lives. Somewhere in here we've shared many funny faulty tale type stories which you've already heard about swingers in Greytown, the two short whites, and visitors to the garden at home and serving lunches. Now the children have grown up, and between us we shared godchildren, Susan and Dan, and I'm thinking of him today too. And we've supported each other with all family stories, weddings and grandchildren included. I'm so pleased I got to stay with Sue and Andrew in their new home, where Sue was so happy to have a garden for the grandchildren to play in, and where she and Andrew enjoyed gardening together. It was here last week where she was doing just this, when she felt unwell, went to hospital, and that night died. A kind way for her, but a dreadful shock for all of us who are left behind. I'm reminded of years ago when my Giles had a major stroke, and Sue would come and brighten us up. And I'm pleased she does not have to face the same awful challenges. It is now time for me to say thank you and goodbye, dear Sue, and to enjoy the wonderful memories we shared, and to thank Andrew for his patience and kindness.
We will now have the pleasure of hearing Andy Eldridge singing Alleluia.
Kia ora tātou. Sue Wright was probably my biggest fan in Raytown. Of course, everybody here will probably say that. And I think the reason she liked me is because I was a weird priest. There was a secret chord, David played and pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? When it goes like this, the fourth and fifth, the mountain falls, and the major left, the back key composer, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. Saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to her kitchen swell, she was ready to fall, and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew a hallelujah, 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 well, baby, I've been here before. I know the truth that I've walked the floor. You know, I used to live alone before I knew that. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch. Our love is not some victory march. It's a cold, it's a broken hallelujah, 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 There was a time when you let me know it's really going on low, but now you never show that you really do that. And remember when I moved in you and the Holy Ghost was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah, 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 maybe there's a God above, and all I ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. But it's not a cry you can hear and cry. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Say I took the name in vain, but I don't even know the name. But if I did, well, really, what's it to you? There's a blaze of light in every word. It doesn't matter what you heard. The holy or the broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I did my best, but it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch, and I told the truth. I didn't come to fool you. But even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord song with nothing on my lips but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Sing it with me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
whilst we all grieve the loss of Sue in our lives and long to be able to do something to help, there is one thing we can do. There is an organisation that was very dear to Sue's heart and for which Andrew is the chairman, Supporting Families Wairarapa. A donation to this charity is the gesture that Sue would most have appreciated. It is with great sadness that we bid our final farewell to Sue. Each and every one of us is already feeling a huge gap in our lives and fearing how we will move on from this melancholy. The sooner we can replace this sorrow with the happy memories we have of Sue and get pleasure in remembering them, the more we'll be doing what Sue would have wanted us to. Farewell, our dearest friend, grandmother, mother, mother-in-law, wife, aunt and sister. We all loved you, know you will be very much missed, but at the same time, we are so grateful to have had you in our lives. Andrew Wright is now going to say a few final words.
Thank you. Thank you, Felicity. It is marvellous to have you keeping the ship steady. And thank you to Andy and Sarah for the wonderful music. Gorgeous, thank you. And thank you all for coming to say goodbye to Sue. It's a great turnout. I know she didn't want any fuss for a funeral, but she was always pleased when a bit of a fuss was made. I would like to thank my wonderful family for everything they've done in the last week. They've been a tower of strength to me. I cannot say much more than that, except to tell them how grateful I am. I could spend the rest of the day standing here thanking people for the effort they have made and the help they have given us, but there are too many. However, I would like to thank my sister Lou Davison and her team, and Margaret and Josie and their team for the flowers. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Kathy Bartlett, who some years ago painted a portrait of Sue. Kathy has come up from Christchurch for this. She is an artist, and I expect she hasn't got many pennies. She told me she came because Sue was so supportive of her when she was a single mum in Carterton. Thanks, Kathy. Silly old Don Breast also deserves a mention. Susan was incensed when he said he was, quote, utterly sick of the use of the Maori language in broadcasting. She then decided to learn Te Reo, and as you have heard, the process has been impact on you. And thank you to the Papawai group. I think that was a great compliment to her. So I stand here before you totally dumbfounded. I'm flabbergasted this happened. Words cannot express my feelings of shock and sadness. Eleanor Harper wrote the following to me. Sue is the only person I know who could truly share the famous epitaph. I hope for nothing, I fear nothing, I am free. So, I guess that's it. The carnival is over. Goodbye, my friend. And now I'd like to introduce Archdeacon Harriata Tahana, Auntie Sally, so her blessing and a prayer.
First of all, I'd like to say to the odd minister, well, I must be the queer one now. i tīmata rā hoki a hau i tēnei karakia. I runga te ingoa te matua, o te tama, o te wairua tapu. Āmene. Reira ka huri atu ki a koe e te ponunga huhana. O tēnei rā tino whakamaharatanga mō. Nō reira te aroha i roto i a hau mō o tō haerengatanga. Nō reira ka nui te aroha ro atu mō koe. Engari mauri atu rā hoki aku aroha ki o ōku whānau me ōku hoa i tua te ārai. Kawe atu rā hoki o mātou aroha kia rātou katoa. I stand here to say my love for Susan. I only met Susan just last year. Prior to that, I didn't know her, but I did know her hoa rangatira, Anaru, Andrew. And they invited me to their home for a cup of tea. Well, I can tell you it wasn't a cup of tea. It was a real big hakari. And of course, this person is not supposed to have cake or chocolate. And what did I have? I went to the cake, of course, first. But she was talking about her te reo. And I said to her, because she wanted to know if I would help her with her te reo, and also having an everyday conversation. And I said to her, and I hope you're listening, Sue, I said, I think you've got the wrong person. I said, because you'll probably be too knowledgeable for me. And she says, no, I want to have this everyday conversation. Well, it didn't happen. But she wanted me to be with the class that she was attending to. And that's why I said to her, you'll probably be too knowledgeable for me. But she had so much aroha in her heart, and also so much aroha for te reo Māori. And so, Anaru, I want to say thank you very much for sharing Huhana, Susan, with supporting families, but also with all of us. And I know I was supposed to be here just having a blessing. And I thought, well, Anaru or Susan, she hasn't told me to sit down. Well, now's your chance, Auntie. Talk to her about the Lord. And then probably she'd say, no, I'm not going there. And if I can say, Huhana, when you get to that kingdom, you will achieve your tohu. You will receive your tohu in te reo Māori. And so kawe atu rā hoki o mātou aroha ki tō mātou matuitarani. Take also our love to our Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ. But I also, this auntie at times like to sing, but I go not like how you heard Alleluia being sung, or our whānau that sang the waiata as she came in. This auntie goes on the key of her own. It's not a, it's a down key. But I think to myself, it doesn't matter. It's what's in your heart. Even if you are flat, or even if you are in tune, but you mean you want to have the Lord and Saviour in your heart, and also my whanaunga, my friend and my relation, Susan. Nō reira kia koutou katoa, e piri tahitia mo tēnei rangi, Ka hara mai koutou mo tēnei rā whakamaharatanga. You've all come here to give your aroha, your love, and also for all of you ones that are speaking te reo, tino pai koutou. And you too will receive your tohu in time. But she'll get there first. She'll receive her tohu. O reira ki o koutou katoa, tēnā rā hoki, te ino e whakawhetai ki a koutou. I think also as well, when at this time when it's autumn, and the colourful leaves that are falling, and when I saw the service sheet, I thought how wonderful it was at this time that when the leaves fall, they are in different colours. And so I thought to myself, what does this auntie say about the blessing of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ? So I just want to say, mātou mātou matu te rangi koutou e manaaki, koutou e tēki. I ngā rā katoa. O reira, no te ino e whakawhetai ki a koe e pā. Kia tau atu rā hoki anō ngā manaakitanga. Ka ringi hia rā hoki ngā manaakitanga. I runga i a koutou katoa engari tēnei ponanga. O reira e pā anō te ino e atu nei rā ki a koe. O reira mā te māria te atu e kore nei e tae te whakaaro. E tēki o koutou, ngā kau o koutou, hine ngaro roto kraiti ihu. Kia mau, kia u, kia koutou, te manaaki, a te matua, a te tama, a te wairua tapu, a e nei, a ke tonu atu. Āmene. Nō reira, no te ino e whakawhetai ki a koe tō mātou matu i te rangi. Kia tātou katoa, te āta whai o tō tātou ariki o ihu Wright, me te aroho te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake, amene. Now for all of you that don't know what I said, now's your chance to learn te reo. You will know what the blessing was when I said it in Māori. Wareira, kia koutou katoa. Tēnā koutou. And I was going to finish off with a song, so I'll see how I go. Te re re, te manu, te re ki, te aka, re re te, ka koe, tai pai atu ki te atua. Now that song, some of you already know that song, but you say, man, that's not the right words, aren't you singing? That's what I have in my mind for this one. So whānau, may the Lord and Saviour bless each and every one of you, and especially to you, Anaru, and your whānau, your son Tim, Timothy, and Sarah, and I think of Tim's friend also, Fiona. The son, he had to try and remember all these names, and Sarah and Brian, and your mokopunas. Now, I mightn't have them in the right place, but never mind. There's, I think, Vivian, Desmond, Henry, and I've forgotten the last one. Nathan. And did I mention Daniel? Not as a grandchild, as the son. But I also didn't know about Timothy or other brother. But anyway, may God bless you all, not only this day, but all the days that lie ahead. In Jesus' name, amen. Nō reira, haere pai koe e te punanga, haere pai, haere tika, ki ai, kia ora koutou.